Before we begin, let me share with you a very important story. You see, a few short years ago on streets very similar to what you see on the screen right now, there was a man who was trying to make a name for himself, who really wanted to make a difference in this world. And no matter what he tried, no matter how hard he worked, it seemed he just couldn't get it right. He tried several things and kept on failing over and over and over. And he just didn't know what to do. And life just kept beating him up. He ended up going through a divorce. He eventually lost his job. He was depressed and despondent. And to escape, he tried chasing money and the things that money buys. And when that didn't go his way, he was eventually indulging in drugs and alcohol, which led him to a life of petty crimes to support that. Well, that lifestyle got him into trouble, as we all know it always does. And he ended up having run-ins with the law, and he was arrested. But he wasn't arrested a few times or 8 times, not even 12 times, but he was arrested over and over and over again. People around him thought that he would live a life of crime forever, and they labeled him a menace to society. But one day, something happened. Through a series of circumstances that could have only been orchestrated by God Himself, somebody was put in his life that really believed in him and invested in him. And that little belief created a spark in him. And well, that little spark ignited a roaring fire. He always knew that he was meant to do great things in this life and in this world. And so he did. He cleaned himself up. He started changing his daily habits and the people that he hung around. And he got around some really, really good influences that believed in him. And within a few years, he created numerous multi-million dollar companies. He has helped hundreds of employees change their lives and the lives of their families for the better. He's also mentored and coached others to do the same. He's impacted thousands of lives in a positive way. He firmly believes that one person can change a family, one family can change a community, and one community can change a city. And that's now his mission. Now, I know you may think that this is some made up story, but the truth is that the man in this story is me. You see, I sit here before you today because somebody believed in me and helped me change my life. And let's face it, guys, transform lives, plain and simple. So I'm inviting you to join my beautiful bride, Claudia, and I, and our team, and our family investors that extends from the East Coast to the West Coast, from the Canadian border to the southern tip of Texas, to be that somebody for someone else as we continue to help change the lives of others with our vision and our mission at Three Keys Communities. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar with our journey, the journey that Claudia and I have been on, that lower right-hand photo is our first home that we purchased 3 years to the day. 3 years to the day that I graduated a 30-day drug rehab facility, because there were programs in place and mentors in my life. Then, at the upper left-hand corner is the third of 5 auto repairs we bought, that we ended up with 5 before we exited those in 2021. That upper right-hand photo is us standing in front of our real estate operations in San Diego, California. I am a best-selling author because the story that I have been through, the Lord doesn't put you through those things so you can sit and hold a remote control. He wants you to shout His glory from the mountaintops, and that book is a part of my ministry that does that. But one day, we, even working for somebody and making really, really good money, we were tired living paycheck to paycheck, and we quit our jobs and we put our house for rent and began that process I just described of purchasing auto repairs. We bought a business and moved 350 miles away in order to accomplish that dream, and we started chasing our dreams. And eventually, we realized that that business, those businesses was a high paying job for us. And we were done having only one source from which our income came. And we started investing in real estate with the extra income that we had. And I can tell you that decision to invest in real estate, the Lord has blessed that decision 100-fold, 100-fold. So, with that being said, I want to introduce you to Three Keys Communities, a place to unlock new beginnings. This project that you're about to see represents all the core values of what Three Keys Community stands for: freedom, prosperity, and love. If you know you are not where you want to be financially, or you know there is another level that you want to get to, then you're in the right place at the right time for the right reason. Because here we go, guys. This is investing with impact. This is investing with impact, ladies and gentlemen, where community meets prosperity and profitability. I feel there has never been a better time. There has never been a better time to make income while making impact through investing in real estate. So, with all of that said, here's our disclaimer. I'm not going to read through all this. It basically says past performance does not guarantee future performance. Guys, please, I'm begging you, do your own due diligence on any investment that you're considering being a part of. Also, while we're here, I will also tell you that there is a QR code in the upper right-hand corner of every slide. Feel free to scan that. It's going to take you to our website. You can select the appropriate button and register for this awesome investment. So, who are we? We're Three Keys Communities, as I already said. We're a private sector multifamily real estate operator. We have housing solutions designed to provide support for individuals affected by the justice system or just confronting the urgent challenge of homelessness. We will have 95 plus transitional living housing options, as well as 185-ish independent housing options through a county program we've come up alongside and are utilizing here in Las Vegas in Clark County called LEAPS, which is Landlord Engagement and Property Services. And we're located in downtown Las Vegas as well as North Las Vegas. And while we're talking about location, this is what's considered a scattered portfolio. What you're looking at is 12 different properties. The left-hand side of this screen is located in downtown Las Vegas. I'll show you more of that here in just a moment. And the right-hand side is about 5 minutes north in North Las Vegas. And this is a very unique portfolio because it was scattered. We made a strategic decision to not purchase all of this in one LLC and have one loan that would really have us handicapped when it's time to make a move. We wanted all the options we possibly could have. So we broke it up into three LLCs and got three separate loans. So when it's time to refinance or sell, we're not tied to just one behemoth buyer or one lender. We can have multiple opportunities to do different things. So we closed on two of the LLCs, a total of 122 units on December the 5th. This is some of the stuff in North Las Vegas that we closed on, some of the portfolio, and the stuff that we closed on in the beginning. This 10-plex and this 28-plex were part of that 122. But on May the 31st, we closed on this whole street of, one's a 40-plex, an 11-plex, an 8-plex, all totaling 111 units that we've closed on. So we own every bit of the portfolio that we're presenting to you tonight. Okay, people often ask, hey, how can you possibly still be needing money for something you already own? Well, as you'll see, our plan is to inject quite a bit of capital into the exteriors of this property, and that is the money that we don't need to close on the properties, but we do need to execute the 12-month, 24-month, 36-month portion of the business plan. Now, for those of you not familiar with the area, that is the iconic stratosphere. That is the Strip. So as you can see, we are within walking distance to thousands of jobs. And this will zoomed out a little bit further. This is where we were just a moment ago. That's the 149 units that we were just looking at. 5 minutes north is the other 84 units in North Las Vegas. And while we're talking about the geographics, phase one of our plan, and we'll talk more about this, but I'll stay at a high level here. Phase one of our plan is to partner with the LEAPS program. It's called Rapid Rehousing Initiative, where we're helping people utilizing the county program where they pay the rent and wean the client off the rent over the first 12 to 24 months, and they graduate the program and move on. And then phase two of our plan is to leverage the experience, the contacts, and the past jobs of one of our partners, which is Nicole Capra, who specializes in transitional living facilities. This is an example of what our underwriting has. This is a 20-plex in North Las Vegas that we already own, transitional living facility that will be 38 beds. A TLF is also called in some parts of the county or country a halfway house or sober living. And this is where you are taking a one bedroom, excuse me, and putting two beds in it. You're able to charge $800 per month per bed. That's $1,600 for a unit that you normally would get $1,250 to $1,300 for. So it allows us to check off two boxes. Number one, make a product available that is really in demand and a shortage here in Las Vegas, because we're very well tuned into the transitional living facility world, if you will, the community. And we know that as soon as a bed is available, there's a waiting list for that bed. So there's a high demand, and it allows us, number two box to check, to give our investors the best returns possible. So that 20-plex will be 38 beds. And that 9-plex right there, we just got the transitional living facility nod for the permit from the city. Now we're going to the state, which is well underway. We should have permits and be running that as a TLF. That's a 9-plex with 22 beds, which again allows us to be highly more profitable, as well as offer that, that service that is very, very much in demand here in the Las Vegas area. Now, I know you all have been, very likely have been to Las Vegas for a convention at some point, or maybe entertainment. It does have some of the best restaurants in the world. It does have some amazing entertainment. And I will tell you that I live 7 miles from the Strip. And I can also tell you that if I didn't know the Strip was there, I wouldn't know the Strip was there. I go there, my wife and I, we're still looking for our favorite steakhouse. That might be a lifelong journey. We go out to dinner from time to time. We enjoy the steaks and we make notes of the ones we like, but we probably won't go back there for a long time. There's so many to choose from. And we leverage the shows when they have different entertainers come to town for short periods of time. But there's so much more to Las Vegas than that. It is one of the fastest growing populations in the United States. It has everything from healthcare, manufacturing, technology, you name it. We call it the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. Everybody in the industry for entertainment and the restaurants, they all need somebody to do their dry cleaning. They all need somebody to watch their children when they're at work. There is a lot. This is a very, very diverse and strong economy. Again, do your own due diligence on that. And you know what? There's a little bit about the company. We talked a little bit about the property and the business plan. To go a little bit deeper into the business plan, I'm going to let my partner, Nicole Capra, she was having a little bit of an internet issue. I don't know if that's corrected or not, but we'll pivot if we need to. But Nicole, are you there? How's internet doing?
Kind of take it from there. So my name's Nicole Capra, and I am, as I was saying, a longtime Las Vegas resident. I've been here since the early 90s. And since I've been here, we've seen a lot of changes in the valley. When I first moved here, we had about a very small little jail and about 100 people incarcerated. Today, we have over 13,000 people incarcerated in the Las. And not all those people are what you might think of when you think about people getting out of the system. A lot of them are really good people that, they made a mistake and they deserve a second chance. So that's really what we're doing here is second chance housing. And yeah, and so I have personally worked in this space for over 14 years by providing supportive housing for people getting out of incarceration through transitional living facilities. So yeah, so you'll see on the next slide, transitional living facilities are great because they really provide wraparound services for all of our tenants. And we will partner with other people in the community who all specialize in their own niche market, and so that we're not just providing them a roof over our head, but everything that they need to get back on. And so our business plan is really two parts. On the next slide, you can see it's kind of divided between housing that we will do for the county, housing provided by the county, and transitional living facilities. And the county side is 185 units. These rents are guaranteed. They're what we call fair market rent. We get a $500 sign-on bonus and a $3,000 risk mitigation fund that goes to securing the asset. In addition, we get first and last month rent and double security deposits. The second part of the business plan is the transitional living facilities. And great news about these is we actually, there's a lot of licensing involved in these approvals that can honestly take a long time. During COVID, it was taking years. These days, it can take up to a year. So we have this part of the program underwritten into year 3. However, we got our initial approval last week and our second approval this week. So we are ready to move forward and launch these 100% ready to go by October 1st, which is, about a year and a half ahead of schedule. And what this is it's about 95 beds for those people getting, who just need to transition out. And we will provide our own case management for these. We will have our own waiting list, and these beds will remain full. And we will transition these people in briefly for a period of time and then move them on to more permanent housing. So both sides of the business plan is really phenomenal. Both of them give our investors high returns, steady income, secure the asset, and get our ACH or our rents ACH on the first of each month. And then this is really what we call fair market rent. And fair market rent is what it's comps, right? So if you're looking at another deal, you're going to look at the comps. This basically just says this is what we know that we can get. This is what the county pays. The interesting thing about this is that these rents have increased 17 to 23% each year, but we have our underwriting very conservatively underwritten. We have it closer to about 6 to 10%. And these rents will come out on October 1st. So they'll continue to increase for the whole of the project. So that's really kind of the social aspect for all of the philanthropists on the call who like to help people. It's just a great opportunity where you get to give back, but also get great returns in the meantime. So Beth, why don't I turn it to you to let you talk to the investors about the returns?
Okay, because I like talking about the Mooo'la. Excellent. So really excited to bring this project to you because it's not just about money. It really is an impact, as Nicole said. So when you keep that as first and foremost, and you know that you're coming from a great place and a great heart, and then you're also able to make money, this makes this an amazing project and really one that I got excited about after I toured the property with Nicole and learned more in depth about it. So Three Keys Community has closed on the entire portfolio. It was a purchase price of over $28 million. The beautiful thing is this is already making money because we have closed on all the properties. The final escrow was May 31st of this year. And this offering is for both accredited and non-accredited. So basically what that means is everybody can invest in this project. And that's really exciting because that isn't the case with all syndications. Our mortgages, we have 3 different setups on the mortgages. We have one that has a fixed rate of 7.15 that was closed in December. And then our other ones are at 5.75. So really competitive interest rates with a 10-year interest only period and a 30-year amortization. So these are really good loans that allow us to really make sure that we execute the business plan for you, the investor. There is no prepayment penalty on the first 2 loans, and there is yield maintenance on the recent loan. And we can dive down into that, but basically what that's saying is it gives us options so that we can execute the business plan. We also have a third-party property management firm with over 20 years of experience. We also have a professional third-party asset management firm, not to mention we have the specialty of Nicole, who is literally boots on ground in Vegas. And last week, she was literally meeting with 45 different representatives who deal with programs like this within the Vegas community. So she's very hands-on and very, very versed on what we're doing. Residents are directly funneled to our project through Clark County via the Rapid Rehousing Initiative. And that gives us lease periods for these people from 1 to 2 years. And we have a mix of 1 to 4 bedroom apartments. The best part, though, is they've already been renovated. So we're not having to go in there and put in new flooring, repaint the walls. They already look fabulous, as you'll see in the photos to come. And then also, like any great syndication, you can benefit from cost segregation. We're expecting that this will be a return of investment of about 20 to 30%. And that you will obviously need to talk to your accountant about, but this is an added benefit for this type of investment. Occupancy is at 92% as of May of 2023 and continues to hold steady and climb as we move forward. Okay, so capital plan and hold time. Again, it's 233 units purchased for just over $28 million. Our loans on this is about just shy of $17 million. So our LTV is a nice solid 59% and 72%. And again, we have those 2 loans with some with a no prepayment penalty, and then some with yield maintenance, and those are our better interest rates. So we structured it so it made sense to be able to execute the business plan. Our total capital raise is just shy of 16 million, and we have done over 12 million. So there's about 4 million or so left. And so we are definitely moving along, and the property's already closed. So it's a first come, first serve till we hit the final subscription. This, though, is my favorite part of this entire plan for you, the investor, and for myself, because I invest right along with my investors. But at year 4 or 5, we're doing a refinance. And at that point in time, we're giving back our investors their initial investment into the property. So if you came in with 100,000 about year 4 or 5, you're going to get back your original investment, and you get to stay in the project for the next 5 years. So we do say it's a 10-year hold time, but you're basically in the project for the last 5 years, risk-free and making money. So we'll walk through that a little bit for you. So this is a page with a lot of information, but I'm just going to kind of quickly move you along. So our B1 investors, these 3 categories are what are called our accredited investors. So net worth over $1 million, not including your home, or you make $200,000 a year, or a household income of $300,000 a year. Over here, Class D are our non-accredited investors. And this is anybody and everybody. So this is really exciting because, again, we have options and opportunities for everybody. So the B1, I like to think of this as our CD category. So in the B1 category, it's a minimum of 50,000, and you get paid 8% fixed cash flow, but you will accumulate an additional 4% per year. And then you are refinanced out at 5 years. Now, this is our B2, is what I call the beautiful to be, because it is a nice, really juicy, big, giant $500,000 investment, but it has a 12% preferred return. And if we go down here, it has an exciting ARR of 22.9, and it has an IRR of 23.5. So this is a really interesting phenomenon in this business where your IRR can be potentially a little higher than your ARR. And that is because we are driving income to you, the investor, after the refinance for another 6 years. Hence why that IRR is so juicy and wonderful. Okay, so the next 2 categories are where most investors will lie, and that's going to be the B3 or the D1. Now, both of these are a minimum of 50,000. So again, we can go right down here. If you put 50,000 in, your equity multiplier or your return of money ends up being about 3.09, which means you're going to get back 3 times the money you put in at the end of the project throughout the life of the project. It has a preferred rate of 8%, an ARR of 20.9%, and an IRR of 20.2. So imagine an annual return anytime you take the number 72 and you divide it by the return, that tells you how fast your money is doubling. So that 20% creates a double of your money every 3.09 years, and we're in it for 10, hence 3 times your money. All right, this one is also amazingly juicy. At $50,000 minimum, you still walk away with an annual rate of return of 19% and an IRR of 17.8. And I'm going to tell you, there's not many investments out there where you're walking away with a 19.4% and an elevated IRR at 17.8 as a non-accredited investor. That's just very exciting. And then our last one is what I call the come learn and grow, right? So this gives you a chance to get involved for a minimum of 5,000 up to the 50,000. And your returns are still astounding, better than any CD, better than parking your money in the bank, and even better than stock market returns. Your ARR on this position is 16.9% with an IRR of 15%. Now, this one is a kind of forget it and hold. This is what I call your piggy bank while you learn. So you can put your money in. And because it is what we call the last class in the capital stack, that means that you just have to be a little bit more patient. But I do think if you're learning how to invest, I think patience is a beautiful thing. So, all right, let's dive into this a little further. Okay, cost segregation, as we mentioned, $100,000 investment is going to net you approximately a $25,000 tax savings for those of you who are actively involved in real estate. And as we all know, money saved is also money earned. So that's not part of returns when we're looking at them, but it's very exciting. And again, find out with your tax advisor how that will affect your taxes. But it's a fabulous thing. And I know for myself and my family, you know, I don't pay the government a lot because I'm in real estate. And that's a phenomenal gift that the government has given us, the capacity to help others and house them and be given back a return to ourselves. So hats off to our government. That's beautiful. Okay, and this is a lot of numbers on one page, but I do want to kind of point out a couple things that I really loved about this underwriting. And a couple things that I really loved is number one, the vacancy factor is at 13%. So earlier I mentioned it was at 92% last year. We're still underwriting this at 13%, the 10% and the 3%. So again, extremely conservative. Imagine if we outperform by just 3 or 4%. That's a conservative number to work for that gives us a chance to do better. Our expenses are underwritten at 3%. So a lot of people do 2%. We're making sure we're going to cover any elevation in expenses. And then another thing that's fantastic, is that the rent, if you'll notice, we don't do the increase, which is created from that transitional living. It's not even showing up in our underwriting till year 2. And as Nicole mentioned, we've gotten approval. So we are already starting to send people to this program, which is super exciting. Imagine beating your returns by a whole full entire year. Very exciting. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through some of this. So again, the B1 shares is that, think of it as a CD. It's a fixed 8,000, 8,000, 8,000, 8,000. And then you get back a 4% additional return at the year 5. So 60,000 makes it a 12% return. If you're looking for fixed income, this is a great vehicle. It's not my favorite vehicle, but if you do need fixed income, this is a fantastic vehicle. Okay, so you get back your 40,000 for holding, you accumulate $20,000 in interest, you get your return of your initial capital, which means that you made $160,000 for a 5-year hold, and then you are out of the deal. Okay, so that's why I like it, but I love the other ones. So let's get some yummy going. Okay, $500,000. Again, I'm just scrolling you through this. You're going to get your cash flow, which is this top level. And then at the end of 5 years, You get your return of capital when we do the refinances or take out a supplemental loan, which is like a home equity line of credit on multifamily. And then for years 6 through 10, again, you continue to receive additional cash flow. And then you get the big old check. So down here is when we sell the property, the equity position and all of this put together equates to 1.1 plus million dollars. So $500,000 in, 1.1 million plus out in total for your return. So again, very, very exciting dollars. The next one, again, I said most of our investors are going to lie in B3, which are accredited, or our D2. So this one, examples with 100,000. So keep that in mind. So you're going to receive cash flow on years 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here's your cash flow you receive. At year 4, 5, we do the refinance. You get your initial capital investment returned to you. At this point in time, you can go make another investment, but you're still in this investment. And that's what made me super excited about that, because your risk, you have no more exposure of risk. Your money's back in your pocket. You can go make a second investment, but you still continue to receive cash flow years 6 through 10. And then you also get, at the time of sale, you get your equity from the property. So this was your cash flow years 1, 6 or 10. This is your equity at sale. So your total return for $100,000 in is estimated to be $208,000 plus dollars on the back end. So that is a phenomenal return. Again, making it a 20% ARR return. Very, very exciting. Okay, so let's say you're not accredited and you want to do that 50,000 and you really want to put your money to work. Again, a very exciting opportunity. So you will receive cash flow at a 5% preferred. So it will do the catch up. So you see here, you see this wavering. We bring the investor whole when we do that refinance at year 5, which is also when the initial 50,000 is returned to the investor. And then your 50,000, your portion of the property still stays working hard for you, and you're receiving more cash flow, more cash flow, more cash flow. And this is what that cash flow in those years adds up to be. And then you get your portion of the equity as well, a nice juicy $60,000 in equity for a $50,000 investment. Your net total return for just $50,000 as an unaccredited investor over 10 years is $96,000 plus. Now that is an amazing return. Okay, so then we go on to our last one. And I always say, earn while you learn. So a lot of people are in this industry. And if you've never participated in one of these, I kind of say this is a must do, because this is such a rarity that you can get involved in a project like this for as little as $5,000. It is a set it and forget it type of thing, because you're not going to really see your money moving around until years 5. And then you'll see it trickling years 6 through 10. But the big thing and exciting thing is at year 10, when we go and sell that property, you're getting a $6,000 check for the equity in that property, which equates a $5,000 investment, equates to a total return over 10 years of $8,400. I don't think there's many vehicles that have that kind of return. So think about where your life is 10 years from now. What kinds of big things are you going to have going on? Are you going to have kids that are going into college? And I think that's what's really exciting about this. Are you going into retirement? So this plan gets you out of your investment at risk at years 5, but you're still getting to really receive the benefits of an investment for 10 years. And it's just super exciting. So quickly, a little overview of the properties. These are some of the interior upgrades that have already been done. So let's take a little peek at the pictures. This is what this property already looks like. So we have very little work to do on the interiors. As you can see, they all look really pretty fantastic. And this is what we are doing with the capital that we're raising. So we are going to go in and upgrade the landscape. We're going to do new painting on the exteriors. Some of the buildings could use a little polishing with some new windows. We're going to create modern central walkways and entries so that there's a sense of safety and security for the tenants. And then obviously we do want to fly high our Three Keys logo because it really is encompassing some great core values in giving people a hand up and not a hand out. All right, so here's just a breakdown of that budget, and this is available for all of you in the doc that you have, your deck. You can look at this, but you'll see we've got interior updates, we've got exterior painting, we've converted actually that on-site rental office already, and we actually have it as an office and a place for the policemen to come and chill and have coffee and donuts and do their paperwork. And by just doing that, the crime rate in that area has dropped by 80%, which made us super excited because we are definitely honored at the ribbon cutting and the grand opening because of the impact we're already having within the community. Other exterior upgrades we just ran through. And of course, you got to make sure you can take care of electrical, plumbing, and all the good stuff. So we've got plenty of CapEx set aside for that. We've already installed the security cameras, which actually are fed directly into the police station. So we're doing lots of things to keep our communities, keep the people safe. We have operational reserves for the WTF, my favorite fund. That is also known as your extra bank account and cushion in your own lives. So we have that as well for a business plan. Rob has never had a capital call and does not intend to have one. And so that is a part of what we do is we plan ahead for the unseen. And then obviously permits for getting us all the way converted to transitional living. So let's meet the team. We have a lot of people on the team. Just going to highlight a couple here today, but Rob and Claudia are phenomenal. They're Hall of Famers within the RE Mentor community. They have done many 1031 exchanges, very successful in business, and they have ran an exclusive size portfolio. As you can see, they have some that have gone full circle where you see the word sold means that they have made the full and complete turn. And then you guys know me, Beth Bungay with Cash Cow Investments. I have over 25 years in the real estate arena. I'm a licensed real estate appraiser, so I have a really strong strength in asset valuations and due diligence. My portfolio has involved property management, dealing with optimizing investments for long-term success. I have also opened and ran my own hedge fund. So I do understand the importance of creating wealth and getting the proper returns for the investors. And that's super, super important to me, creating benchmark returns for the investor, you. We have Nicole Capra. She has done an amazing job of creating this whole entire project. She has extensive experience within this type of project. And cute little fact, she was the youngest commercial pilot when she used to fly. Female commercial pilot. Hitomi has done an amazing job. She's an investment risk analyst, and she will tell you one of her strong suits is underwriting and constantly is on the numbers and looking for ways to fine tune and lead to our success. And then we have Mitch Snyder, and these are some of the people that are more directly in the area. We do have multiple capital raisers and part of this project because it is a very large raise. We have Hans, we have Caleb. We've got just an amazing team here, really working hard for your asset. Mitch Snyder is our construction coordinator, boots on the ground. He's been doing this since 2018, very business aspects. Okay, now this is outside of our team. We have third-party management that I mentioned. So Kim is our asset manager who is overseeing our on-site property manager. And I'm going to tell you, this guy is phenomenal. I was watching him with the tenants when we were there for the grand opening, and he just really, he hums. Like you can tell that they love him, and he really does care about the people. And I think to have a successful property, you have to have the core person truly caring, and it's very evident with the interactions that he was having with the tenants, and he was even doing everything he could do to make our lives easier too, to make it a very successful event. All right, so we're just going to dive into some of those frequently asked questions. If you do have any questions, we encourage you to put them in the chat, but I'm going to just dive into a couple. So number one, how can you invest? You can invest with cash. You can invest with your IRA, your solo 401k, even your universal life insurance policy, and or a combination of such. Okay, so what are your minimum investments? So obviously our best returns are going to be at that $500,000 mark. Our better returns though start at the $50,000. And the great news is you can participate with above average market returns in an investment with as little as $5,000. So like I said, this investment is for everybody. Okay, so how much are the GPs investing in the opportunity? So the management team is fully committed. We're investing approximately 15% of the total equity, which is really pretty exciting when you think most syndications will have between 5 and 10%. So all of us are investing right alongside you. I've got my investment already signed up and already wired and queued up for this investment because I'm really excited and I think it has such good moral value. We all believe it's important to have skin in the game, so we have skin in the game just like you. Are the loans recourse or non-recourse? So again, this is one of those kind of little interesting things. So traditionally in commercial, the loans are what's called non-recourse. These ones, however, because of how we did the financing and stuff through the credit union and stuff, they are actually recourse loans. So that tells you that the key principal signing on the loan, we all have that huge dedication to success for this property, which is again another thing that tells you just how dedicated the team is. Okay, what is the stability of the income? Because I think for all of us, it's great, but how stable is it? So this income is not only stable, it's robust. The rents are backed by government bonds for over 10 years. And then you know how the government does. They do their bonds and then it'll be a revote. But think about it. In a community that doesn't want to have homelessness and they don't want to have people going back into jail, why would they not continue to approve those bonds? So without programs like this, and without operators like us, people wouldn't have a safe place to live. So this is super exciting because it creates stable and robust income. This also encourages, because we are getting what's called fair market rent, we are finding that our fair market rent is accelerating above inflation. So as you guys heard, real estate's great because it helps fight inflation, right? Well, this not only is fighting inflation, we are actually getting rental increases. We saw last year a 17% on the 1-bedroom and a 21% on the 2-bedroom. And so the reason for that is because there is such a high demand and such a low supply of this type of housing within the Las Vegas market. So it's very exciting because you are not only keeping up with inflation, we are actually surpassing inflation with the fair market rent increases that the government provides. Okay, so we collect for each tenant, we get a $500 sign-on bonus. So right there is that little extra pop of additional income. We get $500, we get 2 months rent as security deposit. And so that again is another one of those things that secures the asset. We also have a $3,000 mitigation fee if there's anything wrong with the properties. And as some of you would know, to turn a 1 bedroom's probably not going to run more than $3,000 to do fresh paint, do some touch up, replace a few things. So we really are protecting our risk and our asset. Okay, why have you closed and you're still raising capital? Well, because this is a very big raise. Again, we're raising just shy of $17 million. We've already closed on the property. So what's exciting is you're already coming in to an asset that is completely making money day one, the second you come in. So super exciting. All right, so will the 3 Keys loans stay in place during the course of this opportunity? So the one that we have at the low interest rate will stay in place, and we'll do a supplemental loan, or what's considered like an equity line of credit. And the other one that's at a higher interest rate, we're looking to refinance that, get a lower interest rate, pull out equity, and that's how we're paying back all of you guys, the investors, and you're able to make money for the first 5 years, get your investment back, and then continue to get a return for another 5 years, hence a 10-year hold time in the program. All right, so what do you do next? Step 1, review your offering. Contact the person who referred you here today and request access to their investor portal. Secondly, you want to subscribe. You want to sign your private placement memorandum, and that is just basically the legalese. This is an investment, and all investments do have risk. So again, you'll go through that process and you'll sign that off. And again, the person who brought you can help walk you through those steps. And then third, you want to wire in your funds, secure your spot on the investment by wiring in your funds before a subscription is filled. And then once you've done that, you'll be able to track your investment. You will be able to get access to all your documents, your pictures, your tax forms, your own private investor portal, so that you can really watch your funds grow through the course of this investment. But most importantly, let's remember what 3 Keys stands for: freedom, prosperity, and love. So it's one thing to make money, but it's another thing to make money with purpose. And that's why I am fully excited about being able to be a part of the 3 Keys project and bring it to you, the investor. So I do hope that each one of you will join us, and welcome to Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas. So you can scan the QR code, but again, go to the person who invited you today, and we are here to answer all of your questions. So I'm going to escape from this lens here and stop sharing and see what questions we may have for y'all this evening. Looks like we have a good house here tonight. So we're very excited. I think everybody on the team can attest that this is really, truly an amazing asset, and it's one that really has an impact. And it has an impact for the society, it has an impact for the people. It also has an impact for you. So we are excited, and we hope that all of you will join us here at 3 Keys and be a part of our investment team and be a part of this investment. So I welcome y'all. I know, I think everybody here, I probably have a link to, so you guys know my phone numbers, and you can blow them up. If there's any questions, we'll gladly take those, but we also want to thank each of you and be respectful of your time. We know it's very precious, and we want to thank each one of you for coming this evening. And please reach out to us with any questions you have. Thank you. Cassandra,
Thank you,
you're
guys.
welcome.
Good night.
Thank you. Thank you all. Have a great night.